Hey guys, very good evening. This is Srikanth here. It's been a while that I've come online discussing something about the key index levels. This video today, I'm going to introduce you to a key index trading system, typically known as Slingshot. Slingshot is a newly derived system that is primarily designed to trade with indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty. This system is designed to work with these indices in the spot level, comprising in accordance with our index levels that we typically start operating on. I would like to just demonstrate this system in detail today. It's more to do with how this actually works and what are the key ingredients of this, and how this is going to be utilized, and how we would like to make use of this system in detail. This is going to be one of the first video in the series of videos that's going to come. So this is today that I'm going to showcase you how simple it is to start using the system primarily. Right now, to start with, this is a Nifty chart. This on the Nifty chart, I plotted these levels. These are the levels that I keep posting into various social forms, into our Telegram channel at Hawkeye Index, HAWKINDEX, as well as Twitter. So what happens here is these are the levels that have been plotted on the system on this specific chart. This is a pretty simple, defined system, and this is designed to work with predominantly with the acceptance of rejection of these levels. So nothing else. Acceptance of rejection of these levels. So a long trade is being indicated with this defined symbol, with the green arrow, and a short trade is indicated or identified with this defined purple or pink arrow. So the idea of this is basically when you initiate a long short trade, and then your eventual stop loss is going to be one of the associated levels, which is the next to it, and you could just go on to start trialing your position to the maximum potential profit. Similarly, on the long side, this is the longs trade here. You could initiate the long trade here and then start looking for the low of this bar, or maybe the associated next level as your trailing stop loss, and start to continue to ride it up. The levels that I plotted on this, these are Nifty levels that are for the 17th of March. On this specific day, Nifty has actually opened predominantly into the supply 4 level. So basically it's gapped up quite a big number, and predominantly started looking at S4 here, and the market continued to trend higher on this specific instance. This was the longs scenario, and then this is the re-entry long for this, and it's continued to be riding. But look, there is not even a single instance of a situation where the market went against anybody. It's just a continuously bullish signal. So I'm going to pick up some dates where you have quite a bit of defined volatility, and then how these signals have been generated during that specific period of time, and apparently we will visualize them into this Slingshot specific platform, right? So basically, let's pick up this specific data. This is for the 9th of March, and let me bring up the index trading levels for Nifty on 9th of March, and we'll start analyzing this. All right, so let me just bring that up. And these are all the 9th of March levels. I think apparently the market was It's just did a big gap up and then continued to ride on the high, much above the. I'm sorry, this is not 9th of March. It's supposed to be 10th of March. My bad. Give me a second. Let me plot the levels for the 10th of March. Right, so these are the 10th of March levels. So now, this is the market has opened on this specific day. I think it 16709 and made a high of 16720. So on this specific first, opening candle itself, opening time period itself. Then followed by it started continues to trend higher. This is basically a confirmation for you. This is an acceptance of the level, and you have subsequently multiple continuous bars started trading above the supply floor level. And then this is going to be your re-entry level. So basically the reason for this re-entry level in this case is that there was market tried to penetrate below the S4, but that's got rejected, and eventually defined close on this that has happened at just around around 9:45 a.m. in the morning, and here the market closed around 16652, and eventually making a high around 16754. Nearly 200 points of up move from just around here. I'm sorry, 100 point of move from here. And subsequent to that, this is the first sign of this is the first indication where the market could not penetrate, probably could not survive below this. You could identify this rejection using this defined arrow. This arrow is actually talks about in a short signal basically. In this case, you would just cut off your long positions and start taking a long and short trade in this case. And then eventually what that followed was the short signal was generated at 16635, and apparently there was a pullback all the way down to 16654 in this specific candle, and subsequent to this it started the slingshot has identified yet another trade on the same bar. Like this is the initial trade and then this is a re-entry bar. In case if you missed your trade here, you have a probability you could actually take the subsequent trade in this bar. So this bar was actually at making a high at 16674 and closing at 16634. So this is the specific bar. You could actually make a re-entry on the short trade. And from here, what happened further is just it's a bliss for a short trade here. And from here all the way, the market made a low onto this bar, approximately 187 points lower in the next the next 30 minutes or so. So basically so this is a re-entry bar, and this is basically you could trial all the way, and this is one of the simple sign. It is stating that there is a possibility of a trend change. If you are a manual trader, you could just exit your position in this case and book profits out here. It's nearly about 150 to 180 points. Basically, here in the first instance, you made about 100 points here, and the second instance that's around 185 or 180 points on this level. It's a pretty simple system, and this allows you to just stay calm and do nothing and just wait for the signal and start punching your trades. This is such a simple system which has all the ingredients and all the computations required. Everything is pre-built and built into the system. All right, and you just need to just go down and then start punching your orders and wait for a continuation of a trade or maybe a change of signal. The moment you see a change of signal, just get out. That's it. Right, so this is an instance for the 10th of March. Let's also start looking at 9th of March in this case. Right, so let's look at 9th of March trade. Let me load this data for 9th of March. The levels data for 9th of March. This is 9th March. Right, so from here the 9th March data has started warming up. As you see in this case, guys, the market was open into the in a supply and demand level in between S1 and D1. So typically such days are anticipated to be a sideways and choppy zone. However, the market was hovering between these levels, and there was the first sign of this breakout, basically moving into the S1. Right, S1 was breached right around approximately 9:20 a.m. So I think the first few minutes itself, and then eventually hit a resistance at S2, and then pulled back again to S1. So technically, for a manual trader, this is a long entry here with a defined stop loss just around this level. All right, a level below this. This level you could be getting an entry around 16112 with a defined stop loss. That's probably coming around 16068 approximately. And eventually this market went on to touch this high, what is it, 16144, and eventually came lower to make a low at 16062. The high probability this trade, if you have not worked, you could have stopped out in this case. And you start waiting for the next signal. So the next signal is just right around here. So this is your re-entry long. So this re-entry long is generated around approximate right around 11:35 a.m. So okay, around 11:35 a.m. this specific long entry has been generated, and this entry price at 16142, the defined stop loss just below this zone. So that comes around 16102, around 45 points, and the market continued to trend higher and higher, and all the way here, making a high around 16319. Right, this is 16142, 16319. So that's around 180 points one direction. Right, and then there was again a slight pullback and started to continue to trade higher and higher and higher. So this is finally making a higher on 16418. So that's a cool 300 points trade on this move. It's on you as an individual. You could have a choice to look at what you would like to do. I mean, you could just try to trade with a defined trailing stop loss, or you might want to just book out the trade on a predefined target. Similarly, let's pick up one of the most complex days to trade. And we'll visualize how simplified the system has made the data to look like. Right? So let's pick up the 8th match. This also has a certain trend, which is basically the couple of candles going higher, and then there is a short trade here, then there is a long trade here. Let's see how the levels have been plotting on this 8th match. As you see, on 8th March, again, the market was open actually at between the D1 and S1, perhaps opening at the D1, and eventually tried to penetrate and break through the previous close, and subsequently, defining a short trade in this case. So that was right around 10:40 a.m. approximately. Sorry, 11:10 a.m. 11:10 a.m. With the low making around the closing around 157.88, and this was the short trade signal. And eventually, the market continues to trade down, for the down, down, and down, and down. So all the way down to 15689 as the opening here, and then eventually making a low at 15671. So close of around 110 points for you in this case, guys. So this trade could have yielded around 110 points, opening here all the way down here. So even if you've tried that, probably when we made an entry and subsequently your access could have been trialed out for the next 40-50 points, you would have actually made around 45 to 50 points primarily on this trade. And then subsequent to that, when the market started hitting higher, it turned around, it started going higher. Eventually, there was a long trade signal here, right at this time around 15802, and this has happened around, this specific signal was generated around 1:45 p.m. on this day, 1:45 p.m. at 15801, and this specific trade continues to trade higher, going higher all the way to 15911. It's a cool 110 points here, and there was a pullback, and again it started continuing to going higher all the way and closing at the day's high, making a high of around 16028. Right? That's about a cool 228 points all the way from here, guys. Right? Approximately 225 to 228 points all the way from here. You've got a 100-point move down here, you've got 228-point move up here. So basically, all in all, this is a pretty simplified system. This allows you to just stay calm and stay peace and watch these signals and punch your trades. And if you don't want to do that, and you could just, if you just don't want to do it manually, you can just subscribe to one of our bot, and then the bot can take care of this. Right? I want to check one last time. This is going to be the definitive complex data, definitive complex trade. This is on 7th March. You have multiple swings here. There's a long trade, then there's a short trade, there's a long trade, and there's a short trade, and there's a long trade. And see how the levels have been paired up here. This was 7th March. Alright, so let's look at on 7th March. What's in store? Let me pull up the levels for the 7th of March, Nifty. Ooh, it's crazy, right? So market was actually opened straight below, the D4 on this specific day. I think it's a big gap down in this day. And then the market started consolidating, and then there was a trade right at this time, this specific time, which is around 10:05 a.m. Okay, around 10:05 a.m. and the long signal generated while penetrating into D4 at 16015, and this long trade continued to move higher, all the way to test the D1 level. That's around 16140, approximately 16140. It started to make high, nearly giving at least 130 points on the specific directional low. And then there's a rejection of this level that followed it by a trend changing candle. This candle is basically defines a trend change here, and what followed was just another short that's again getting rejected off your D4. There's another short trade here, and this short trade which followed from here and all the way from here. So this specific short trade was signaled right at 10:05 a.m. at 15934, and from 15934 all the way it made a move down to 15785, approximately, right? Approximately making a move down all the way to 195 to 200 points approximately, and that followed a pullback, and then another rejection that followed another 150 to 60 point down, and subsequent to that there is again a long trade in this case, and this long trade probably did not deal much, just about 45 to 50 points in its direction, but then that followed another short trade. So that short trade was right around, right at 1:25 p.m. Okay, that's right at 1:25 p.m. At a price of 15840, all the way moving down to another 120 points while making a low at 15713. Right? So you got 100-point move here, you got a 200-point move down here, 300-point here, and then another 100-point here, another 50 points here, and then another approximately another 130 points here. So 130 plus 50, 180 plus 220, 400, and then 100. There are approximately, you have an oscillation range of 500 points. Even if your system, even if you are trading manually in the system, and with trialing your stop losses or moving your stops in the direction, you could have probably ended up making at least 200 points on the system. Like I stated, we are living in a pretty haphazard world at this point of time with respect to the markets, and if you do not have the resources to execute these fast moving trades in manually, you could leverage that with the help of the bots, right? So you may just ping me up to understand what these bots are and how this is going to function, right? Now let's take one classic day, one last day as an example, and this I'll try to showcase different types of trades that have been taken by the system. As the last example, this is on 24th February. So let me pull up 24th February data into this. Give me a second. This is 24th February levels. This is how it has been plotted. Well, this is the day. What followed is Russian, intrusion of Ukraine, and the markets have actually opened down a big gap down right below the nose of D4. So completely, the markets were open completely below the D4. So basically, below D4, you know that. Those who follow my sketched, index trading levels, below D4 is basically a black sea. Anything is possible on the sun. Under the sun on the downside. Above S4, it's a blue sky, and then below D4, it's basically a black sea. Meaning, and the price can just hover around whatever the levels possible, right? And then what followed was basically, all from here is all the way down. In the first 45 minutes, probably the market was just doing nothing and just running around. And right at this time, after this is around 12:20 p.m., you got a trade idea, you got a trade signal to share the Nifty at 16541. Okay, at 16541. So this trade signal gave move down all the way to 16436. So approximately 105 points until this time. And then there was again a sharp pullback. The sharp pullback all the way down to 16537. So what's your entry is here is also turned out to be your pullback value here, approximately. But then that followed by a powerful pullback shot. So this pullback shot, this was actually initiated right at this time at 16498. That's at 1:15 p.m. Okay, 16498. And then what that followed was again a bliss. So that gave a sturdy 300 point move down all the way by the end of the day. Right from here, a straight 300 point move down on your direction. So the idea of this trading this system is primarily understand these levels, wait for the acceptance or rejection of what market wants to do at that specific period of time or at this specific level, and wait for the confirmation by this discussed system. There's an artificial intelligence sort of various formulas included into this to identify what's coming on this, what is the probable signal that's going to generate onto this. And then eventually the system assesses these and starts giving you, a pre-built, pre-encompassed, pre-computed, predefined, recomputed, and ready to use, ready to consume, a methodology of this trade signal. And that trade signal is what you need to be focused on and start executing your trade, right? I'm planning to go live on this various of these trade signals starting next week, probably from Wednesday or so, live on YouTube for a couple of days for the consumption of the users, and we'll see how this is going to play out. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or whatever that you would like to, any questions or something that you would like to ask on, feel free to ping me on my Twitter, DM me on Twitter at ASRKANTH. Alternatively, you could also ping me on Telegram at ASKANTH. Right? I hope you find this informative, and look forward to bring more of these series videos going ahead. Thank you. Have a wonderful trading day tomorrow. Take care. Good night.